Han Solo never believed in luck. He believed in skill, fast reflexes, and the Millennium Falcon's hyperdrive when it worked. But this time, something was different. The job was simple. Deliver spice to Kessel, collect the credits, and disappear before the Imperials noticed. Easy money. Han and Chewie had done it 100 times before. But as they approached the drop point, Han felt it. A cold chill down his spine. A whisper in his mind. Donji. Chewie, something's wrong. Han muttered, his hand hovering over the controls. Chewbacca growled in confusion. The scanner showed nothing. No imperials chips. No threats. Just empty space. But Han knew. He didn't know how he knew, but he knew. Punch it. Han quoted. The Falcon lurched forward just as Imperial TIE fighters screamed out of hyperspace behind them. Blaster fire lit up the cockpit. Alarm shrieked. Chewie roared, pulling the ship into a desperate dive. I told you, Han yelled, gripping the controls. I felt them coming. More TIE fighters closed in. The Falcon shields flared under heavy fire. Han's mind raced. They were surrounded, outgunned, outnumbered. This was it. This was how it ended. But then, something happened. Time seemed to slow. Han saw everything. The trajectory of every blaster bolt. The movement of every TIE fighter. The exact moment the lead fighter would fire its killing shot. He didn't think. He just moved. The Falcon rolled left. The blast missed by inches. Han fired back. One shot, perfectly placed. The TIE exploded. What the? Han breathed, staring at his hands. How did I? Another fighter dove toward them. Han didn't aim. He just knew where to shoot. Another explosion. Then another. His movements were instinctive, impossible, perfect. Chewie howled in disbelief. I don't know what's happening. Han quoted, adrenaline pumping. But I'll figure it out later. Hold on. The Falcon twisted through the debris field, dodging fire with movements that defied logic. Han's senses were on fire. He felt the ship as an extension of himself. He felt the enemy pilot's intentions before they acted. He felt everything. One final shot. The last TIE fighter exploded in a ball of flame. Silence. Han sat back, breathing hard. His hands were shaking. Chewie turned to him, growling a question Han didn't want to answer. I don't know, buddy, Han whispered. I don't know what that was. But deep down, he did know. He'd heard the stories. Jedi, the Force, impossible powers. He'd always laughed them off as myths. Not anymore. Somewhere across the galaxy, an old hermit on Tatooine opened his eyes. Obi-Wan Kenobi felt a disturbance in the Force. A new presence. Untrained. Powerful. Dangerous. Interesting, Obi-Wan murmured. And in the depths of space, Darth Vader paused mid-breath. He felt it too. The Empire moved fast. Within hours of Han's escape from Kessel, Imperial intelligence flagged the incident. Surveillance footage showed impossible manœuvre. Tactical analysis confirmed no pilot, no ordinary pilot, could have survived that ambush. The conclusion was undeniable. Han Solo was Force-sensitive. The report reached Darth Vader aboard the Executor. He studied the footage in silence, his masked face betraying nothing. But inside, curiosity stirred. A smuggler, Vader rumbled. Untrained, raw power. An Imperial officer stood at attention. My lord, should we dispatch inquisitors? Vader's fist clenched. Yes, bring him to me. Alive. The hunt began. Imperial inquisitors were deployed across the Outer Rim. Bounty hunters received encrypted contracts. Han Solo's bounties caerá quitido overnight. Wanted posters appeared on every criminal network. Extremely dangerous. Force sensitive. Capture alive. Massive reward. Han didn't know any of this yet. He was docked on Ord Mantell, trying to process what happened. He sat alone in a dingy cantina, staring at his hands like they belonged to someone else. I felt them, he muttered to himself. Before they even showed up, I felt them. Chewie growled from across the table, concerned. I'm not going crazy, Han snapped. Something's happening to me. Something weird. A shadow fell over their table. Han looked up. A Rodian bounty hunter stood there, blaster aimed at Han's chest. Han Solo, the Rodian hissed. The Empire wants you. Dead or alive. I prefer alive. More credits. Han's instincts kicked in. That feeling again. He sensed the Rodian's finger tightening on the trigger a split second before it happened. Andovisaiduins. The blast scorched the air where his head had been. Chewie roared, flipping the table. Chaos erupted. Patrons scattered. Han rolled, drew his blaster, and fired. The Rodian dropped. Time to go. Han halted. They sprinted toward the Falcon. But more hunters appeared. A Trandoshan, a human mercenary, a droid assassin, all converging on Han. What the hell did I do? Han yelled, dodging blastafida. You exist, a cold voice answered. An Imperial Inquisitor stepped from the shadows, black armor, spinning double-bladed lightsaber, yellow, eyes gleaming. The fifth brother. Han's blood ran cold. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. The Inquisitor ignited his lightsaber. The Empire knows what you are, Solo. Surrender. Or die. Han raised his blaster. How about option 3? I shoot you and leave. He fired. The Inquisitor deflected the bolt effortlessly, advancing with predatory calm. And Filedekin. And again. Every shot deflected. The Inquisitor was toying with him. You cannot win, the fifth brother said. You are untrained. Weak. Come quietly. Han's heart pounded. That feeling surged again, stronger this time. He saw the Inquisitor's next move before it happened. The lightsaber swinging down. The killing blow. Han moved. His hand shot out instinctively. The Inquisitor froze mid-swing, suspended in the air by an invisible force. Han started. Coquette. What? How am I? The Inquisitor snarled, breaking free. Han didn't wait. He ran. Chewie was already firing up the Falcon. Han sprinted up the ramp as the Inquisitor chased, lightsaber spinning. The ramp closed just in time. The Falcon blasted into the sky, escaping by seconds. Inside the cockpit, Han collapsed into the pilot's seat, gasping. This is bad, Chewie. This is really bad. Chewie growled agreement. Han stared at his trembling hands. The Empire's after me. Inquisitors. Bounty hunters. All because of whatever this is. He didn't know where to go. Didn't know who to trust. But one thing was certain. His life as a simple smuggler was over. Tatooine was the last place anyone would look for Han Solo. At least, that's what he hoped. The Falcon touched down in the Dune Sea, far from Mos Eisley's prying eyes. Han powered down the engines and sat in silence. Chewie watched him concerned. We lay low, Han said quietly. Figure out what's happening to me. Then we move. But deep down, Han knew. There was no running from this. That night, as Han sat outside the ship staring at the twin suns setting, he felt it again. That presence. That awareness. Someone was watching him. You can come out, Han called into the desert. I know you're there. A figure emerged from the shadows. An old man in robes, weathered and calm. Obi-Wan Kenobi. Han's hand drifted toward his blaster. Who are you? A friend. Obi-Wan replied, stopping a respectful distance away. Or at least, someone who understands what you're experiencing. Han's eyes narrowed. You one of those Inquisitor guys? Because I've had enough of lightsaber-wielding lunatics for 1 week. Obi-Wan smiled faintly. No, quite the opposite. I am Obi-Wan Kenobi. Once a Jedi Knight. Now a Watcher. Han's breath caught. A Jedi? I thought you guys were extinct. Nearly, Obi-Wan admitted. But not quite. And neither is the Force. Which is why I've come. I felt you, Han Solo. Your power awakening. Raw. Untamed. Dangerous. Han stood. Defensiva. Look, I don't know what's happening to me, but I'm handling it. Are you? Obi-Wan stepped closer. The Empire hunts you. Inquisitors pursue you. Bounty hunters want you dead. You have power, yes. But without training, you will either be killed or corrupted. Han låghet bitterly. So, what? You want to turn me into some kind of monk? Teach me to meditate and wave a glowing stick around? No thanks, old man. I'm a smuggler. I work alone. And yet, Obi-Wan said gently, you saved yourself using the Force. Instinct alone. Imagine what you could do with proper training. Han hesitated. He remembered the Inquisitor suspended in midair. The impossible shots. The visions before danger struck. I don't want to be a Jedi, Han said firmly. I don't believe in fate or destiny or any of that mystical nonsense. Neither did I, Obi-Wan replied. Once. But the Force is not a religion, Han. It is a reality. And whether you accept it or not, it is part of you now. Silence stretched between them. Chewie emerged from the Falcon, growling a question. Han sighed, running a hand through his hair. If I say yes, what happens? You teach me to lift rocks with my mind? Make me wear robes. Obi-Wan smiled. I teach you control. Discipline. How to survive. The Force is a tool, Han. Like your blaster. But far more powerful. Han looked at the old Jedi. Then at his own hands. Then at the stars above. Fine, Han said reluctantly. But I'm not calling you master. And I'm keeping my blaster. Obi-Wan nodded. Agreed. And so, the training began. Over the following weeks, Obi-Wan taught Han the basics. Meditation. Sensing the Force. Moving objects. Deflecting blaster bolts. Han was a terrible student. Impatient, sarcastic, and constantly questioning everything. But he was also a fast learner. You rely too much on instinct, Obi-Wan said during a sparring session. You must learn discipline. Instincts kept me alive this long, Han shot back, dodging Obi-Wan's training saber. And it will get you killed against a true Sith. Han pose. Sith? You mean like Vader? Obi-Wan's expression darkened. Yes. And if he finds you, you will need more than instinct. Han's cookie green father. For the first time, he felt real fear. Because deep in space, aboard the Executor, Darth Vader was coming. Training with Obi-Wan was the hardest thing Han had ever done. And he'd smuggled spice through Imperial blockades. Focus, Han. Obi-Wan instructed, standing opposite him in the desert. Feel the Force. Let it guide you. Han closed his eyes, reaching out. He felt something. A current. Energy. It pulsed around him, through him. He lifted his hand. A rock trembled, then rose into the air. Good. Obi-Wan said. Now hold it. Control it. Han's concentration babarat. The rock wobbled, then dropped. Damn it. Han kicked the sand. This is impossible. No, Obi-Wan replied calmly. You simply lack patience. Patience. Han looked it. Old man, patience doesn't pay the bills. Patience doesn't outrun Star Destroyers. Patience gets you killed. Obi-Wan studied him. Is that why you smuggle? For survival? Or for freedom? Han bristled. What's the difference? Everything, Obi-Wan said. A Jedi does not act for personal gain. A Jedi serves the greater good. And that's where we're different, Han shot back. I don't serve anyone. I look out for myself and Chewie. That's it, Obi-Wan sighed. Han, the Force has chosen you. Whether you accept it or not. You can use this power selfishly, or you can help others. Han turned away. I didn't ask for this. I was fine before. Just a smuggler. Now I've got the Empire hunting me, Jedi training, and some old guy telling me I'm chosen. I never wanted any of this. Silence. Obi-Wan's voice softened. I understand. More than you know. But running will not save you. The Empire will not stop. Vader will not stop. You must choose, Han. Fight. Or hide forever. Han clenched his fists. He hated this. Hated feeling trapped. Hated responsibility. That night, Han seriously considered leaving. Just firing up the Falcon and disappearing into the Outer Rim. Forget the Force. Forget the Jedi. Go back to smuggling. Go back to normal. But then, the message arrived. Chewie intercepted a rebel transmission. Encrypted, desperate. A woman's voice. This is Princess Leia Organa of Alderaan. We are under attack. Imperial forces have intercepted our diplomatic ship. We need immediate assistance. Please, anyone help us. The transmission cut out. Han stared at the console. A princess. Under attack. None of his business. But that feeling hit him again. Stronger than ever. He saw flashes. A young woman in white, captured, tortured. Darkness closing in. She would die. No, I'm Materth. Not my problem. Chewie growled, questioning. I said no. Han snapped. We're not heroes, Chewie. We're smugglers. We don't do rescue missions. But the vision wouldn't leave. He felt her fear. Her desperation. Obi-Wan appeared at the Falcon's ramp. You heard the message. Yeah, Han said coldly. And it's not my problem. Isn't it? Obi-Wan challenged. You have the power to help her. To save her. And get myself killed in the process, Han countered. No thanks. Obi-Wan stepped closer. Han, this is your choice. The Jedi path is not forced. It is chosen. Every day, in moments like this, you can walk away, or you can act. Han looked at the stars, then at Chewie, then at his own hands. Damn it, he whispered. He fired up the Falcon's engines. Obi-Wan smiled faintly. Where are we going? To do something stupid, Han muttered. We're rescuing a princess. Chewie roared in approval. And so, Han Solo's path changed forever. Not because of destiny, but because of choice. The Falcon jumped to hyperspace, racing toward danger. And toward Leia. The Imperial detention block was chaos. Han and Chewie blasted their way through stormtroopers, rescuing Princess Leia from her cell. She was sharp-tongued, stubborn, and unimpressed with her rescuers. You came in that, Leia said, eyeing Han skeptically. You're braver than I thought. Or stupider, Han muttered, firing down the corridor. Move! They ran. Alarms blared. Reinforcements closed in. Han felt every threat before it appeared, his force senses screaming danger. He guided them through the labyrinth of corridors with impossible accuracy. How do you know where to go? Leia demanded. Le gus, Han lit. But then, everything stopped. The air grew cold. Heavy. Oppressive. Han felt like a weight crushing his chest. That presence. Dark. Overwhelming. Evil. A door hissed open at the end of the corridor. Darth Vader stepped through. Han's blood turned to ice. He'd heard the stories, seen the hologram footage, but seeing Vader in person was different. The black armor, the mechanical breathing, the sheer power radiating from him. Run, Han whispered. Now. But Vader raised a hand. The corridor doors slammed shut. Trapped. You, Vader said, his voice echoing through his mask. I sense the Force in you. Strong. Untrained. Dangerous. Han raised his blaster. Yeah? Well, I sense you're about to have a bad day. He fired. 3 shots. Perfect aim. Vader didn't move. The bolts froze mid-air, suspended by the Force. Then they dropped harmlessly to the floor. Impossible, hambriated. Vader's lightsaber ignited. Red. Burning. Deadly. You will surrender, Vader commanded. Or you'll die. Hans instincts skramat. He felt Vader's next move before it happened. The Force choke. Han dove sideways just as Vader's hand clenched. The invisible grip missed him by inches. Vader pushed. Interesting. You have potential. Thanks, Han shot back. But I'm not interested in joining your fan club. Vader advanced. And Fildeken. Vader deflected every shot with his lightsaber, closing the distance. Han's heart pounded. This was it. He was going to die. Then that feeling surged. Stronger than ever. Han thrust out his hand instinctively. A wave of Force energy exploded from him, slamming into Vader. The Sith Lord staggered back, surprised. Ow! Han stared at his own hand. I didn't. Vader recovered instantly. Raw power. Unrefined. Wasted on a smuggler. He attacked. The lightsaber swung down. Han rolled, barely avoiding the blade. Chewie fired from behind, covering him. Leia grabbed a fallen blaster, joining the fight. But Vader was unstoppable. He deflected Chewie's shots, Force pushed Leia against the wall, and advanced on Han with mechanical precision. You cannot win, Vader said. Surrender. I will train you. Serve the Empire. Serve me. Hard pass, Han gasped, scrambling back. Vader raised his hand. Han felt the Force grip tightening around his throat, lifting him off the ground, choking him. You will serve, or you will die. Han struggled, gasping for air. His vision blurred. This was it. Game over. But then, he remembered Obi-Wan's words. Let the Force guide you. Han closed his eyes. He stopped fighting. He let go, and the Force responded. Energy exploded from Han in all directions. Vader's grip shattered. Han dropped to the floor, gasping. The corridor lights flickered. Debris flew everywhere. Vader stood unmoved. But for the first time, he sounded impressed. Remarkable. You may prove useful after all. An explosion rocked the ship. The rebels' distraction. Han seized the moment. Chewie. Leia. Go. Now. They ran. Vader pursued, but the collapsing corridor slowed him. Han glanced back once. Vader stood in the smoke, watching. "This is not over, Solo," Vader's voice echoed. "I will find you." Han didn't doubt it. They barely made it to the Falcon. As they jumped to hyperspace, Han collapsed in the cockpit, exhausted. Leia stared at him. "What are you?" Han looked at his trembling hands. "Honestly, I have no idea." But Vader knew, and he reported to his master immediately. "There is another," Vader told the Emperor. "A smuggler, strong with the Force. He could be turned." Palpatine's yellow eyes gleamed. "Then bring him to me. Alive." The hunt intensified. The Falcon screamed away from the Death Star, alarms blaring, systems failing. TIE fighters swarmed like angry insects. "They're everywhere," Luke shouted from the gunner's seat. "I noticed." Han yelled back, yanking the controls. The ship twisted through a hail of laser fire. Explosions rocked the hull. Leia gripped the console. "We're not going to make it." "Yes, we are," Han said through gritted teeth. That feeling was back. Stronger. Clearer. He saw every TIE fighter's trajectory. Every blast before it fired. The Force was screaming at him. "Chewie, reroute power to shields." Han ordered it. "Luke, target the lead fighter, left side, 3 seconds." "How do you know?" Luke started. "Just do it." Luke fired. The TIE exploded exactly where Han predicted. "Lucky shot," Luke muttered. "Luck's got nothing to do with it," Han said, dodging another volley. His hands moved before his mind processed the danger. The Falcon rolled, dove, twisted, impossible maneuvers that defied physics. Another wave of TIE fighters closed in. Too many. Too fast. Incoming. Leia, Varnid. Han felt the missile lock before the alarm sounded. He spun the ship sideways. The missile streaked past, missing by meters. "How did you?" Leia stared at him. Han didn't answer. He was in the zone. The Force flowed through him like electricity. He wasn't thinking anymore. He was feeling, reacting, moving with the current. Tractor beam locking on. Leia Scholte, checking sensors. Han's eyes widened. The Death Star's tractor beam was reaching out, trying to pull them back. He felt its pull through the Force. A massive, invisible hand. "Not today," Han growled. He thrust out his hand toward the console. Energy surged. The Falcon's engines roared with power beyond their limits. The tractor beam strained, trying to hold them. Han pushed harder. Sweat dripped down his face. The Force channeled through him, amplifying the ship's thrust. Metal groaned. Systems overloaded. "Come on," Han screamed. With a final burst, the Falcon broke free. The tractor beam lost its grip. They shot forward, leaving the Death Star behind. Luke stumbled out of the gunner's seat, staring at Han. "What just happened?" "How did you?" "I don't know." Han gasped, exhausted. "I just felt it. The beam. The ship. Everything." Leia stepped closer, studying him. "You're like Luke. You have the Force." Han looked at his hands. They were still glowing faintly with energy. "Yeah, I guess I do." Luke's eyes widened. "You're Force sensitive?" "Since when?" "Since Kessel," Han admitted. "It just woke up. Obi-Wan started training me. But I'm still figuring it out." Luke grinned. "That's amazing. We're not alone. There are more of us." "More targets, you mean?" Han muttered. "The Empire's hunting me because of this." Leia's expression softened. "Then you're one of us now? A rebel. Whether you like it or not." Han sighed. "I never wanted to be a hero." "Too late," Leia said, smiling. "You already are." The Falcon jumped to hyperspace. Safe. For now. But as they traveled toward Yavin, Han felt something. A dark presence. Distant but watching. "Father." "He's coming," Han whispered. Luke looked at him. "Who?" "Father. I can feel him. He's not done with us." And he was right. On the Death Star, Vader stood alone, meditating. He reached out through the Force, searching for Han Solo. And he found him. "Soon," Vader murmured. "Very soon." The Battle of Yavin was about to begin. And Han Solo's greatest test was coming. The rebellion celebrated. The Death Star was destroyed. The Empire dealt a devastating blow. Heroes emerged. Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, and Han Solo. But celebrations didn't last long in war. Aboard the rebuilt Imperial flagship, Emperor Palpatine studied hologram footage of the Battle of Yavin. He watched the Falcon's impossible maneuvers, the Force-enhanced piloting, the raw, untrained power. Fascinating, Palpatine hissed, his yellow eyes gleaming. This smuggler, he has no Jedi training. No discipline. No code. Only instinct and power. Vader knelt before him. He is dangerous, my master. He should be eliminated. No, Palpatine said sharply. He is valuable. The Jedi fail because they cling to their rigid philosophy. But this one, he is free, unbound, selfish, perfect. Vader's breathing deepened. You wish to turn him? Yes. Palpatine smiled wickedly. He already walks the line between light and dark. He kills without hesitation. He serves his own interests. With the proper persuasion, he will make a powerful servant. And if he resists? Vader asked. Palpatine's smile widened. Then you will break him. Use whatever means necessary. Pain, fear, threats to those he cares about. Everyone has a weakness, Lord Vader. Find his. Vader bowed. As you wish, my master. The order went out. Capturan solo. Alive. At any cost. Meanwhile, on Yavin 4, Han was restless. The rebellion wanted him to stay. Leia wanted him to stay. Even Luke wanted him to stay. But Han felt trapped. I'm not a soldier, Han told Leia in the hangar. I help you destroy the Death Star. Job's done. Time to move on. Leia crossed her arms. You're running again. I am surviving, Han corrected. The Empire's hunting me specifically now. I'm a liability here. You're a hero, Leia said softly. And we need you. Han looked away. Heroes the princess. I've seen it. Before Leia could respond, alarms blared. Imperial ships dropping out of hyperspace. A full assault fleet. They found us, Han breathed. Already, the base erupted into chaos. Rebels scrambled to evacuate. TIE fighters screamed overhead. Star destroyers loomed in orbit. And leading the assault, Vader himself. Han felt him immediately. That dark presence. Hunting. Searching. For him. He's here for me, Han said, grabbing his blaster. I have to lead him away. No. Leia grabbed his arm. You can't face him alone. I don't have a choice, Han said. If I stay, everyone here dies. Luke ran up. I'm coming with you. No. Han said firmly. You're needed here. I'll draw them off. Buy you time. Before anyone could argue, Han sprinted to the Falcon. Chewie was already warming up the engines. They blasted off just as Imperial troops stormed the hangar. Vader watched the Falcon escape, his fist clenching. Follow him. Do not let him reach hyperspace. TIE fighters pursued. Vader's personal ship joined the hunt. Han pushed the Falcon to its limits, weaving through the Yavin system. But the Imperials were relentless. They're hurting us, Han realized. It's a trap. Too late. An interdictor cruiser activated its gravity well projector. Hyperspace impossible. Han was boxed in. Vader's voice crackled over the comm. Surrender. Solo. There is no escape. Come quietly, and your friend will be spared. Han Zhao Tigdanat. You're lying. Perhaps, Vader said. But can you take that risk? Han looked at Chewie. They both knew. This was it. All right. Han said into the comm. I'm coming aboard. But Chewie goes free. Agreed, Vader replied. Leia's voice broke through on another channel. No. Don't. Han cut the transmission. I am sorry, princess. The Falcon docked with Vader's Star Destroyer. Stormtroopers surrounded them. Han stepped out, hands raised. Chewie roared in protest. It's okay, buddy, Han said quietly. Take care of yourself. Vader approached, towering over Han. Wise choice. Let's get this over with, Han said coldly. Vader nodded to his troops. Take him to the detention level. Prepare the interrogation chamber. As Han was led away in binders, he glanced back once. The Falcon. Freedom. Leia. Luke. Everything he cared about, disappearing. I hope I did the right thing, Han whispered. But deep down, he feared he'd just made the worst mistake of his life. The interrogation chamber was cold, dark, suffocating. Han hung in electromagnetic binders, barely conscious. They'd tortured him for days. Pain, mind probes, psychological manipulation. But he hadn't broken. Not yet. The door hissed open. Emperor Palpatine entered, his presence like a disease. Still resisting, Palpatine observed, circling Han. Admirable, but futile. Han lifted his head weakly. Go to hell. Palpatine chuckled. Such spirit. Such defiance. This is why you are valuable, Solo. The Jedi would have broken days ago, clinging to their precious code. But you? You survive. Because you are selfish. And selfishness is strength. I'm not like you, Han spat. Aren't you? Palpatine leaned closer. You smuggle. You steal. You kill when necessary. You serve yourself first. These are not Jedi virtues. These are the traits of a survivor. Of someone truly free. Han's head swam. The Emperor's words twisted in his mind. Was he right? Was Han already walking the dark path? I offer you a choice, Palpatine continued. Serve me willingly. I will teach you to wield your power without the Jedi's chains. You will have freedom, wealth, power, everything you've ever wanted. And if I refuse? Han Kruakid. Palpatine smiled coldly. Then your friends will suffer. Leia, Luke, the Wookiee. I will break them, one by one, and you will watch. Han's blood ran cold. Images flashed through his mind. Leia tortured. Luke corrupted. Chewie executed. All because of him. No Anguispirth. Please, not them. Then join me, Palpatine urged. Save them, or condemn them. Hans Razulba Babadat. He was so tired, so broken. Maybe the Emperor was right. Maybe this was the only way. But then, he felt her. Leia's presence in the Force. Distant but real. Calling to him. Not with words. Just love, hope, belief. And Luke, young, determined, believing Han was better than he thought. And Chewie, loyal, unbreaking. Han closed his eyes. Tears streamed down his face. You're wrong. Palpatine's smile vanished. What? You're wrong about me, Han said, his voice growing stronger. I'm not just selfish. I care about people. I care about them. And that's something you'll never understand. Palpatine's face twisted with rage. Fool. Then you will die. He raised his hand. Force lightning erupted, slamming into Han. Agony tore through his body. He screamed. But through the pain, the Force surged. Not the dark side. Not the light. Something in between. Raw. Untamed. His. Han's eyes snapped open, glowing with power. The binder shattered. The lightning stopped. Palpatine staggered back, shocked. Impossible. The Emperor breathed. Han stood, shaking but defiant. I'm done being your puppet. He thrust out his hand. A force wave exploded, slamming Palpatine into the wall. Alarms blared. Guards rushed in. Han didn't think. He just moved. Blaster fire. He deflected it with the Force. Stormtroopers charged. He threw them aside like toys. He wasn't graceful, wasn't disciplined, but he was powerful. He fought his way through the Star Destroyer. Improvising, surviving, using every dirty trick he knew. Smuggler instincts mixed with Force power. Unpredictable. Unstoppable. Vader intercepted him at the hangar. You cannot escape. Watch me, Han growled. They clashed, Vader's lightsaber versus Han's raw Force power and blaster. It was brutal. Chaotic. Han didn't fight like a Jedi. He fought like a street brawler. And somehow it worked. He couldn't beat Vader. But he didn't need to. He just needed to survive long enough to reach the Falcon. Chewie appeared, firing from the Falcon's ramp. Come on, Han sprinted. Fire pursuit. At the last second, Han turned and unleashed everything he had. A massive force push that knocked Vader off balance. Just for a moment. It was enough. Han leaped aboard. The Falcon blasted into space. Vader stood alone in the hangar, watching them escape. He is stronger than I thought, Vader admitted. Palpatine appeared beside him via hologram. Then we will try again. Sooner or later, he will fall. But Vader wasn't so sure. Days later, Han returned to the rebellion. Leia ran to him, tears streaming. Luke grinned. Chewie roared joyfully. I thought we lost you, Leia whispered, holding him. You almost did, Han admitted. But I realized something. I'm not a Jedi. I'm not a Sith. I'm just me, a smuggler with a weird power. And that's okay. Luke nodded. You're a rogue Jedi. A rebel in every sense. Han Smee. Yeah, I guess I am. From that day forward, Han Solo fought his own way, using the Force without dogma, fighting for his friends, for freedom, for the rebellion. He was the galaxy's most unconventional hero, and the Empire feared him for it, because Han Solo followed no code, no master, no destiny. He followed his heart, and that made him unstoppable